So by that stretch of the imagination, you kind of ghetto rich. I mean, you got a little convenience store, you know.
Well, we felt like that, but that wasn't the truth.
Okay.
Because you got to remember, so the store was my Savannah State.
Okay.
Okay, that's where I got my curriculum.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it was at.
Right.
But I also I learned math, I learned customer service, I learned marketing. But the most important thing I learned was people.
Right.
Because there's all walks of life coming into that store.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, throughout the course of their day, their energy is different. You know, so you had to be able to balance certain things. I had to learn this at a very young age.
Everybody's not happy. Everybody's not sad. Somebody had a bad day.
Yeah, and their problem became your problem.
Right.
I had to watch my father navigate his way through this to make margins on Boston baked beans and cigarettes and beer and wine. Those aren't big margins. You understand what I'm saying? But yet, it's still his approach to opening that store every morning, how he treated people, whether you had $1 or $100, was important. And he explained to me, there's a chapter in his book where we talk about just having the empathy for others, where he taught me that this is your family. These customers, these consumers, it's important to take care of them, right? And to treat them a certain way. And it really affected my life and really shaped me, right? Because I would learn stuff from a textbook, but my education came from that store.
Right. I think the thing is, Rich, is that empathy. I think empathy is being able to divorce your ego, set aside your ego, and see yourself as someone else. Mm-hmm. And I think when people with like circumstances, it's easier to have empathy because your dad saw himself. He's like, I ain't really rich, so he saw himself in some of these poor, less fortunate, less having than others, and so he could empathize. So was he that type of store owner that, hey, Mr. Paul, how you doing today? Hey, Savannah, hey, Ricky, hey, Johnny.
Miss Sharp sent you down there, little Shannon.
Yeah.
You don't got a dime in your pocket, but you need bread.
Right.
You need soap.
Right.
You need toilet paper. Well, Miss Sharp sent you. That's all he needed to know. Miss Sharp sent, because she already called before you got there.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So now when you get there, and then you may be standing there looking, and they may say, what you want, boy? You said, man, can I have some of them cherry clams? Oh, yeah, go ahead and take it, you know. And so that exchange, now you become Shannon. Now you Shannon from such and such. Now here comes Little Rich. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. How my dad treated Shannon, Miss Sharp's grandson at that moment, and now you're Shannon. You get what I'm saying? Saved my life in a lot of ways. And people don't understand that. And so my dad would always tell me, you once a man, twice a child. And I never understood what that meant. And then he explained it to me right around the age on the cover of that book. And he said, as you born a child, you grow to become a man. As you get older, you start to become a child again. And how you treated people as a man will have a direct correlation of how they treat you as you become a child again. And that always stuck with me. And I come from a place where your money didn't matter.
Right.
That don't matter. Who you are at your core is what matters. And so despite my successes, I always carried that with me, even into the representation business, which you and I both know as a former player, that don't exist. Right? And so I brought that with me. And it's extremely important, and I live with that every day.
I read in the book, and it seems to me one of your proudest moments is that the family was struggling, you didn't have a whole lot to eat. And you go ask your uncle, he gives you $20 out of the register. Mm-hmm. And you go and hit a lick. Yeah. And you were able to go buy bread. You were able to go buy deli meat. We call it lunch meat in the South. Y'all call it
lunch meat too.
Okay.
I'm from Jonesboro, Arkansas.
Okay. So we call it deli. We call it lunch meat. So you were able to buy some things. And at that moment, it dawned on you like, man, it made you feel good.
I can provide.
Then was that the moment that you saw? Because we all have a purpose.
Yeah.
Same thing happened to me. When I would get paid, I would give my grandmother $10 or $40 that I made. It wasn't much, but it helped by something.
Absolutely.
From that moment on, I've been a provider my entire life. My job is to provide for my family.
Yeah.
Was that the moment that you said, you know what? Rich Paul is a provider?
Yeah, because me, my brother, and sister, I got 2 older sisters and an older brother.
Right.
I'm the youngest. But my older sister, Brandy, and my older brother, Miko, we lived together.
Right.
So my mom wasn't there.
Okay.
My dad had his family. And so there was plenty of times where it was no one there. So we had to do things as a collective.
How much older are they than you?
My brother's 3 years older, my sister 5 years older.
Okay.
But 7 and 12, that's a big jump.
Yeah.
In terms of responsibility.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And so I watched my sister babysit other people's kids and then, take her money, and I would go to the mall with her. That's how I learned fashion. My sister taught me about it. She made that bug bite me for clothes and all that. And then I watched my brother do what he had to do. And so I had to play my part. And so when I was able to do so, like you said, whether it was that, whether it was shooting jump shots and not having no money and had to make it to win, and going to get the, I used to buy the juice, the lunch meat, because my mother taught us how to do this, couple pound of lunch meat, the juice, and then we would get the bread or whatnot.
You said you're going through the juice too quick, so I had to get
the Kool-Aid. Exactly. I had to get the Kool-Aid because it was going too fast. We had to stretch it, and so, but when I felt, like you said, I felt good as a young kid, and I went to a school called Upson in Euclid, Ohio.
Okay.
I'm in the 4th grade, and I remember this adding to the calls in the 4th grade, and I didn't have nobody to say to you, you better be going to school. It was a decision that I had to make, that I wanted to make at a very young age, and so did my siblings. But there was also times where I used to walk the parking lot. There was a place called the Americana. My dad had we called it a honeycomb hideout. He had a little honeycomb hideout that we had to take over, right? Because we had nowhere to go. But I would walk and pick up a quarter here, a dime here, and there was a little bar next to another apartment complex called the Horizon House back then. There was a little bar and grill, and they would have these cheeseburgers. And as a kid, you can go in there before a certain time and order from the grill. And and that's how I would eat some days, So all those things, though, shape me. I don't look at that as a negative thing. And it was a struggle, but I didn't know it as much, right? Because I didn't know anything per se different.
And because everybody around you was probably going through the same thing, you didn't think you were any different because everybody else was struggling.
Because you know what separation at that point, you could be struggling and have a new pair of shoes on.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And it elevated you. So those things, I always had the things, right? But what I didn't have is that family infrastructure, that consistency in the household. I didn't have that. But what I was able to control, I controlled. Just because I didn't have X didn't mean I was going to sit in class and be a dummy. I wasn't going to follow the class clowns. I wasn't going to do abacadabra on my test just because. I wanted to be in school. I didn't want to miss school. And that showed a lot about me as a person. The things didn't make me. That was, because I can make shift. My sister taught me how to make shift things where you can go to TJ Maxx and get a Ralph Lauren. It may be a little defective.
Yeah.
And wear it just the same. And so I learned those little things to feel good. Because, when you don't have much, especially back then, the littlest things elevated you, make the biggest difference, right? And so that was important to me. But I also knew then the responsibility of right to wrong at that point.
And that's what I was about to get to. You said, okay, I'm a hustler. I roll dice, trying to hit a lick, shoot pool, shoot
jumpers,
play
casino, race, whatever you wanted to do, bet.
You didn't want to do, but you didn't go. A lot of times kids like, well, I didn't really have a choice, so I had to go this route. You never.
Not then. When I made those choices, I understood because I had the influence in front of me. So I sat on the porch until when I jumped off the porch, it was because of survival. Because you know, when you have an entrepreneurial spirit in the hood, what's your options? What's your real opportunity? Right? The lady who took that picture, we call her picture lady. That was her hustle. She would have a Polaroid and she would come on the block and she turned our best outfits into pictures. That was art. She could have been Dina Lawson. That was art. She could have been that could have been Instagram. But nobody recognized what she was doing and recognized the business and said to her, you ever thought about this and let me invest in that. Everybody on the right of me had a hustle. Everybody on the left of me had a hustle. The person in front of me had a hustle. The person in back of me had a hustle. There's no careers. There's no great job. There's no equity positions. You know what I'm saying? There's no DC. There's none. I didn't even know what that meant. You understand what I'm saying? And so, understanding what it is today is different from when I look back on it. You know, or someone like you and anybody else in the world that has been innovative, a genius, creative in something, and built it and grew it, they had the opportunity, the option to someone willing to support it. You don't have it. So they had to turn to what was placed in our environment. Now, some people did it, and they did it with malice, they did it with that was never me. My intent was I always tried to find the right deed for
Holy shit!
That makes sense.
Yeah. What's the most money you like rolling? You said you like rolling dice. So what's the most you made in a day and the most you like?
What age? Because you gotta understand.
So what age did you start rolling dice?
About 7 or 8. Okay. See, my dad taught me, the reason why my dad taught me and my siblings how to gamble, shoot dice and play cards. It wasn't from a gambling perspective. It was from a survival perspective because he said to us, these are the tools. This is exact words. These are the tools that will allow you to get from here to here. Get laid off on this job. To get to the next job, you're gonna need some time. To get by, here's some things you can do, but to get by, I turned it into my job, you know, because I got infatuated with it, you know, and so.
So the quick easy money, so you see, because hey, every roll, money's moving.
And that's the thing, and everything. So my dad would take me to the family reunion, and you know, once the drink.
You in the club with the uncles up? Oh, come on, Rick.
Oh, I be grabbing out the money. Don't matter.
No, Rick, for real. You be Granny, you took Granny money. You want Granny take the money out of the bosom. She ain't got that $5.
I beat your grandma the money, my grandma the money. Whoever got the money, I was beating about the money. You ain't have to worry about that. That's what it was.
Right.
There's no, when you start gambling, there is no age limit.
No.
If you got money, you're in play.
Good to see y'all.
You're in play.
Over from LC, looking after these joints. You taking over this clubhouse?
Back in the day, we used to catch the
Oh, yeah.
We had to cut that out because you know somebody doing
They get the 15 times.
You see what I did? I did like this. You know what?
Darks.
What you talking
So
about?
then you was working, man. They be on
Whatever.
So when I was young, we totally cut.
You gotta invite some prospects.
There's no one
Get them to join the club.
Now,
then you lay down
that
the
does a
iron.
number of
You
things.
usually need like a
Yeah, over the game,
road
up, speeds
captain,
up.
a sergeant at
But
arms,
then you got
definitely an
switches.
enforcer. You know, something
So
like
now,
that. Each role got its own perks and its
now
own
it
responsibilities.
was, you know,
It's good to keep shit organized because there's jobs out there
And
folks
so,
will pay
the
it
best way to be
MC
safe.
to do.
DuPont
Out of trouble with the 5
was like
run protection,
Madison Square Garden or the Staples Center. Guess what? Everybody was, those was the big game. That was the big game. Average roll in that game was probably about $1,000 a roll. Wow. You know, and it's the who's who, you know, everywhere. So when you as a young kid being allowed to be in that game, you know, that's like a rookie star. That's like a rookie making all NBA team.
But you know, Rich, when that kind of money is involved, people got them things on. They got them switches.
Well, they ain't had that back then. But that was necessary. But, you know,
Cause you know money. Money does things to people, especially if I lose a big game.
Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you something about these specific areas. And every now and then you had issues, but not like it would be today.
Okay.
There was a lot more respect.
Right.
But back then it was just different because, again, when I talk about the who's who.
With GoDaddy, you can create an easy-to-build, powerful website so you can start selling online in lots of places you've never heard of for the first time, like Dinosaur, Colorado. Start for free at GoDaddy.com.
There ain't even no conversation. That's no go. Period. You knew that. That was it was a respect, and when that clock struck 10 o'clock, if you sitting outside my house, place of anger.
Yeah.
I never came from a place of disrespect. And Corey waited for 2 hours. Steph, Clay.
Know a little something about that. The best way to get tickets to any of these games is on Game Time, the fastest growing ticket app in the U.S. Game Time is the only ticket app that will give you peace of mind with your purchase. They let you see the view from where your seats are before you buy, so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive. Their all-in price show total upfront, so you know you always are getting the best deal. And it takes no time at all. You can buy tickets in seconds with 2 taps. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, redeem code SHAY for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, download the Game Time app, enter the code SHAY. That's SHAY, SHAY for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute ticket price, lowest price, guaranteed. You love sports coming up. Your team, basketball, your team won the state title. How good of an athlete was Rich Paul?
On a scale of 1 to 10, depending on the year. If you're talking about ages, if you're talking about age 7 to 12, I was about an 8.
Because everybody was just kind of saying,
about an 8 or 9.
Everybody same height, same age, same
I got the tape. Go look at the tape.
Okay.
I got the tape. Pull the tape. We won that. We won the city championship. I won MVP. I did the interview. I thanked my teammates. Everything.
Okay.
But then once I got into high school, it changed. But it also changed because I didn't put in the work. See, I'm down at the hut. They gambling. I'm missing something. You know, we got a big dice game. And we got a summer league game at Euclid. I show up at halftime. That ain't right, man. But I'm down 4,500. I gotta get back.
Gotta get my league back.
I had to. But so I just took the better with the sweet. I understood it, right? But as I talk about this, me not starting on my team didn't discourage me from being a part of the team. I was a part of a great team. I had great teammates, and I was on the second team every day in practice, and we made the first team work. Right. Sometimes we would beat the first team. Sometimes I would get in the game. Sometimes I wouldn't get in the game at all. Right? And I look up in the stands. I see my brother there sometimes. Nobody in my family really cared about sport, but my brother would be there sometimes. My dude would be there off the block sometimes and support. But it was okay because I understood my position. I understood my role. But when we leave out this locker room, now it's my turn to be the man.
Right.
And that's all. Fair shake. Ain't never been no robbery. You know what I'm saying? It's all good.
So you had, after the game, you headed back down to the block, go shake the thing.
We headed somewhere, you know. If my dudes came to the game, they didn't come to the game for the game. They came to the game because we were going after the game. Yeah, and we would go down certain places, but I respected my teammates. You know, and I enjoyed it. I played against Mike Gansey, who's he's GM of the Cavs now.
Okay.
A lot of guys. We played against Steve Logie, played Sam Clancy. A lot of guys that was top guys. We loved it. We loved the game. We played Sam
Clancy. He played football, right?
His dad.
Okay.
His son played for USC.
Okay.
They all played for a team called St. Edwards. I went to Cleveland Benedictine.
Okay.
But Glenville was my neighborhood high school.
Okay.
That was pretty good. Yeah. But on the basketball side was pretty good. We played with St. Vincent St. Mary every year. We had a big time schedule. And I'm really close with a family in Columbus, Schottenstein family in Columbus, and I won the last state championship in St. John's and the first state championship in the shop on Ohio State's campus. You know, and so when you plan in it, you don't know, and then you meet the family whose name is on the arena. You know, all these things, just how life takes you. But I was a pretty good athlete. I will say this. Laugh if you want to. I'm one of the best shooters, though, even still to this day. And I'll take my chance. If I was in the 1 or 450, I'd be at the top. It's guys like me, Steph, Clay.
Clay who?
Thompson. Who else is gonna be? Dang.
This man talk about he shoot like
if you're just talking shooting, this is the class I'm in.
Y'all going out to the gun range? That kind of shooting?
No.
Or you talking about basketball into a ring?
Trey, Darius Garland. I'm just talking about guys in the league right now that shoot the three really well.
I was saying you could.
I'll be amongst the.
We didn't have a good old interview. I mean, it was going well. I really, the story that you were telling, because it's very similar to
No,
mine.
I'm saying, but I'm talking about in terms of, I didn't say dribbling, playing, I said shooting. That's all I said.
The mere fact that you're putting yourself, Rich.
Well, if you're talking legends, you have to throw Reggie in there and Ray. It's all of us.
My point is, you're putting yourself in that group. I ain't got no problem with the names you mentioned. It's just the fact that your name is in there.
In terms of shooting,
I don't care what it is.
well, yeah, I feel good about it. And I'm not drinking no yak. I'm drinking water now.
No, you should drink some more, because you too sober to be saying something like that. I need a reason why you said some bullshit like that. I'm sorry. Why you said some foolishness like that?
Well, I'm just telling the truth. I put it this way. You know, when two men got discrepancy, what's the next word?
Bad. Exactly.
That's all. That's all.
Okay.
It's the only way for you to find out.
I want you to tell the people what you told us before we came on there. I said, you play sports, you like, we'll get to that. So yeah, I'm football, I can run some routes. Just go ahead.
North Carolina, home of beautiful beaches, mountain vistas, a great Medicare Advantage plan. And wait, what's Medicare Advantage plan? Health Stream Advantage, the local plan that captures the care.
Yeah, I was a good route runner. I played every position, man, but I'm not saying I was the best. Because I'm the first to say to you, no, I was not the best on my team. I wasn't the best on any team I ever played on. But you know what I was great at? Leadership. Having perspective. Right? Corralling the guys, helping them understand the moment, what needs to take place. My practice habits. I'm leading the team when we're running the laps.
I can respect that. Because I was expecting you to come out here and say, yeah, man, I could have, if I'd have grew like another 5, 6 years, I could have played in NFL.
No, we don't do no but. One thing about it, we don't do no bunch of lying. We don't do no bunch of lying. Ain't no need to be getting on there talking about no lying, because all somebody gonna do is put up the tape. So I don't need to do none of that, no.
Right. So, college, high school, you did what you, like you said, you weren't no dummy.
No. Pretty smart. Very smart.
Attended in class, make sure I got my homework, because at that point in time in high school, did you know kind of the direction that you wanted to go in when you became an adult?
Not at all. Not at all. I thought I was going to be a pro until my father told me I wasn't in 9th grade.
I read in the book that you said you used to like drinking coffee.
I did.
And then your dad told you that coffee started to grow, and you stopped. But you might have stopped a little bit too late, because...
Yeah, I was drinking the coffee black.
Yeah. But you didn't realize that coffee does start to grow.
I didn't know what to believe. No, they could say, they could sell 9th grade back then, anything. I didn't know what to believe.
And you started drinking tea. So you're in high school, you graduate high school. What's Rich Paul's next plan?
I wanted to go to college. I did go to college. I went to college, and my dad was still alive. My dad stressed education so much. I just wanted to further my education.
Okay.
Nobody in my family went to college, right? So I went to college, and I did everything on my own. I remember picking the college I wanted to go to, going to guidance counselor, going to my, my orientation, right? Staying in the dorm and all that. I had my dad or mom didn't come on this stuff with me. I did it by myself, And but unfortunately, my freshman year of college, around September, my dad got sick. I had my dad because I was talking to him about some books I had to order, and he had this attitude about it. My dad never had an attitude about education, but he didn't tell me anything. My Uncle Joe had to tell me what was going on, and my sister. And so, it just happened so fast. And so I had to transfer to be closer to my dad. And that's when I went to Cleveland State. And then, man, it'd be some days I'll be driving to class and I would just turn around and go sit with my dad because I didn't know how long I was going to have with him. And, and that was a tough thing for me.
How did you balance that, knowing that death is on the horizon for you?
Yeah.
While all the while, but I still gotta live.
Yeah, my dad used to always tell us, though, I ain't gonna be here forever. He used to tell us that. My dad didn't sugarcoat anything. The store was on that corner. When you stepped out on that corner, you was a part of the environment. And so, at that time, anything could happen, right? And so that's how he prepared us. And so, it was tough, though. It was tough, but I got through it. But it was tough.
In your dad's convenience.
Yes. It really, and it was a situation. This is my friend. And so that's the reason I told him. And all my friends played sports. In a lot of ways, it was surface deep. The families deemed them to be what? Certain decisions was made. Oftentimes, when someone, quote unquote, feels like they gave you an opportunity, you should forever be indebted to them. But I'm like, no, I understand the idea of the opportunity, but it came because I was somebody's friend.
We have to learn to stop being slave to Lord.
Yeah. And I'm like,
somebody gives us an opportunity and we feel forever indebted, although things are not going the way that they should. No, I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, but my thing is, the opportunity of what entirely, you know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, yeah, there's an opportunity, but what's the plan?
Right.
There was no plan. Mm-hmm. The plan is just all good as long as somebody else is happy. I never want to be in that position, and it was all good. I played the role. And I was doing my thing.
Right.
I started to get talent. I started beating guys out, and I wasn't even a registered agent, and I was beating guys out, right? And they didn't know how. Nobody really knew how, but I had it connected. And so when I seen that I could actually do it, I decided, once I said I can actually do it, and this didn't feel good, and I'm seeing what's transpiring, I'm like, I'm out. It wasn't a plan. It was May conversation. Shit. By August, my mind was already made up. Regardless, I didn't care if LeBron stayed. I didn't care who stayed. I was out. And I had the mentality that I was going to build it. It just so happened that they left me. And I was appreciative of that.
You know what you know. I'm not interrupting your normally scheduled programming to break news. You know what's being said. You know what was said. He got LeBron James. So it wasn't that he was good at what he does. It's that he just had the best player in the NBA. And everybody says, okay, if he's bad, LeBron trusted, I'll trust him also.
Well, that's BS, because it actually goes the other way. In a lot of cases, it's more challenging, at least for me. Now, when they have it, or have him, or if you got this person, it's a different dynamic. You can use your client list, and it's to your benefit. It's to your benefit. But when it's me, and it's my client list, or I got the stars, it's a detriment that comes with that. People don't understand. It's like, oh, you had LeBron, it should be easy. No, it's actually harder. You know why it's harder? Because we come from a place where there can only be one king. Our environment teaches us to always be competitive. There's no collaboration. There's no communication. There's no connectivity that's there. There's no compounding of anything. So it actually becomes harder. And by the way, I've lost clients because of this. The person next to them feel like they're in competition with me. So, no, I'm not even in that space. You're not in competition with me. The position I'm in right now, I could do anything for anybody within reason, and I want to do it. I'm not competing with other agents. I'm not competing with young up and coming people that have a guy that want to be positioned and empowered. I want to empower you, but they're putting out there, oh, well, you know, Rich ain't going to do this, Rich ain't. See for yourself. I don't need the peanut gallery. See for yourself. And if there's a conversation that makes sense, and it makes business sense, then we can do business. But at the end of the day, it's actually, it works for me. It works against you in a lot of ways. Now, in some cases, it does work for you. Don't get me wrong. When you have the talent that we have in our company, you can't deny that. But yet and still, unfortunately, we have to break down the psychological barriers of, all right, I come from it. And when I was young, selling candy and pop and beer and wine at my dad's store, some people chose not to patronize with us because in their mind, if I spend my money with Rich, then little Rich get the Jordans. And I don't have it. So God was already preparing me for this position I'm in now. So when I see it, it don't even bother me.
Do you remember, did you know who LeBron was when you first met him? And what was your first impressions when you did meet him?
Yeah, our high schools played against each other every year. Yeah. So myself and Maverick, we played against each other every year. It's mandatory. Football, basketball, baseball, our high school played against each other every year. Bron wasn't yet Bron. They had won before, but he was on the cover of Sports Illustrated. But I know every kid. I know every kid because I go to games, all that. And my impression was he asked me a question about what I had on. My energy was nice enough, not because I was looking for something in return. That's another thing. Our environment teaches us if you give me something, I got to get something in return. Right. That's why we never build anything. That's why everyone wants to be the talent, because the talent brings forth fortune and fame. No one ever thinks about building. No one ever thinks about playing a different role within the ecosystem of physical therapists, analysts, GM, etc. There's a lot of roles to play within the ecosystem. But that's not the popular role to play. And that's why everybody can't be Shaq. Just can't. Everybody can wear that yellow jacket and go and can't. But my jacket could be a different. It may not be yellow, but that's for the Hall of Fame. But I got a jacket on. Right. You understand what I'm saying? So that's always been my mentality.
Why is it such a problem? Is that, Phil Knight, Jeff Bezos, you look at some of the greatest men in the world, wealthiest men in the world, women, have had someone believe in them. But it seems to be a problem that LeBron, I don't know, and you don't have to address this, I don't know if he invested money, but I know he invested an opportunity.
Yeah, LeBron never gave me a dime. And that's what they wanted to put out there. Right. But they didn't say it about Jeff Schwartz. They didn't say it about Montella. They didn't say it about Mark Barnstein. They didn't say those things. Right. What did think happened with them? What did you think happened? You get what I'm saying? And I respect those guys. But that's not what's being said. Right. You get what I'm saying? When they have the top player, that player don't have to own a piece of their business for them to represent them. That player is representing them. They're represented by that player is represented by that person because that person is deemed to be capable of doing the job. Same for me.
I want to know this. After Dan Gilbert said what the hell he said, he wrote what he wrote. Said LeBron quit, put that thing up in the paper. How the hell did you convince LeBron to take his ass back to Cleveland?
Legacy. About legacy, man. We come from a place where two brothers shoot at each other and sleep in the same bed. What we gonna start that for? We'll put that over your legacy.
When you first told LeBron, hey, LeBron, check this out, bro. For your legacy, I think you ought to go back to Cleveland and win a title. What did LeBron say? What was his exact word to you?
He was open-minded. But he wasn't the first person I had a conversation. I had to have a conversation with him. We were close. Savannah and Anglo, Maverick, Randy, we had a conversation. We talked about it. But again, when you talk about it, this is my job. This is the role I play.
So before you talked to Brian, you talked to Savannah, You talk to Glow. You talk to Ma'am.
In addition to talking to them,
Right.
I talk to everyone.
Right. How does Savannah feel?
Well, we know, man.